On the early morning of the 12th of October 1952, I left my young family, my wife Rosa and two daughters, Silvana and Clara, to travel to Australia with my brother Livio. My idea was to work hard for a few years, save some money to improve my financial situation and go back home. It did not happen that way. When we reached Colombo, my sponsor notified us there was no job waiting for us in Sydney, so we decided to disembark in Melbourne. At that stage, it was impossible to get a job. It was disappointing. As a married man, I was receiving an unemployment benefit of £1 10 shillings. Once paid the weekly rent, I was left with only 10 shillings. Life was getting tough, so I accepted the first job I came across. It was cutting wood in the bush. The place was ragged. My residence was a little makeshift hut. The bed there was a bag of straw on the ground. Drinking water was from a little creek, and the work was getting very, very hard. I was not used to the Australian bush. Very hot, and the most annoying were the flies. By the end of the week, my hands were bleeding. I returned to Melbourne. Working at Italo-Australian, we had to work in water and mud on hillside and cliffs, which safety belts around our body. I built roads for the country road board under the hot sun. The bitumen was very sticky and smelly. I also worked for the railways for 5 years. In 1961, I returned to Italy. The purpose of the trip was to arrange things for the Holy Family to move back with me in Australia. For 9 unending years, I had longed to be back, to be joined with my children and my wife. It was impossible to describe my feelings. When I found that, I was to them like a stranger. The long separation had caused much harm. My children did not know me. They were so changed. Those were the worst days of my life, worse than the experience in the Australian bush. It took a long time to convince my wife to come with me to Australia. But eventually, in late 1963, the Holy Family came. We settled down as a happy family. For almost 30 years, I worked for the tramways, initially as a conductor, and then for most of the time as a driver. I was a trainee, doing a start shift, broken shift, a middle shift, or later shift as a roster. During those 50 years, I have made many friends. I saw Melbourne and the whole community change. When I began working, most of my mates were full-blood Australians. Soon we had a quite number of Italians and Greeks, followed by Turkish, Middle Eastern and Vietnamese. On the train you really meet the many faces of Australians who have started a new life in this country. Despite all of those early trouble, I like Australia. People are fair income. I became an Australian citizen in 1962. I had finally realized my dream to make this my home for myself and my family. Now I retired, I can look back and appreciate what hard work has given me and my family.